So let's look at another problem. This one is going to talk about the volume of a prism, a rectangular prism, pardon me. So this says an open box of maximum volume is to be made out of a square piece of material which is 36 inches on both sides. So I'm going to try to draw just a little figure of this. So we have a square piece of material, 36 inches by 36 inches. We want to make a box out of it. So I want to make a box out of this piece of paper. So somehow I want to fold it so it gets me a box. So what we're going to do, this is kind of the classic way to make a box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some squares out of each corner. So I'm going to cut some squares out of each corner. Now the bigger the squares get, the taller the box will get, because if you think about it, cutting these squares out, I now have 4 flaps that I can fold up and make this box. So this area here is now the bottom of my box. And then when I fold up the sides, I get these kind of regions that look something like this. Okay? So here's my box. Now I'm going to call these square dimensions x. I'm going to call them all equal little squares of size x. So that means the height of my new box is going to be x. So however big a square I cut out, when I fold it up, that is going to give me my height. So really, since volume is just the height times the width times the length of this box, I just have to find the dimensions of the length and the width. Well, if you think of this side here, now the full sheet is 36, but I am taking things out of that. I'm actually subtracting this distance and this distance. So this is simply going to be 36 minus the 2x. So it's going to shrink based on how big those rectangles are I'm taking out. Similar for the width, I'm going to make this 36 minus 2x as well. So those are the dimensions of my box. Now, if you think about the volume of a prism, the volume is general width times height times length, or length times width times height. All those multiply together. So the volume of this box in terms of how big the square I cut out is simply going to be x times 36 minus 2x squared. That's just multiplying them all together. So depending on how big an x I cut out, how big a square I cut out, this is going to be the volume of that remaining solid.